I still remember the exact moment everything changed. It was a Tuesday afternoon in late September, and the coffee shop smelled like cinnamon and regret. My best friend Marcus sat across from me, stirring his cappuccino with the kind of distant look that meant he was about to say something important. We'd been friends since freshman year of college, 7 years of late-night conversations, terrible decisions, and the kind of loyalty you can't fake. "I need to tell you something," he said, and my stomach dropped before he even continued. "If you've ever been caught between two people you love, hit that like button right now. And subscribe because this story is about to get incredibly complicated." I should have known. I should have seen it coming weeks ago when he started asking casual questions about my family. About my sister, Emma. "I think I'm falling for someone," Marcus continued, his voice soft, almost reverent. "And I know this might be complicated, but I can't keep it to myself anymore." The thing about Marcus is that he's never been the type to fall easily. In all our years of friendship, I'd watched him date casually, never seriously. He was the guy who said he was waiting for something real, something that felt like lightning and comfort all at once. And now, looking at his face, at the way his eyes lit up with a mixture of hope and fear, I knew exactly who had finally cracked through his walls. Emma, my little sister. Well, not so little anymore. At 26, she was a pharmaceutical sales rep with a laugh that could fill a room and a heart that had been broken one too many times by guys who didn't deserve her. "It's Emma, isn't it?" I said, because there was no point in pretending. Marcus looked up, surprised. "How did you? The way you've been asking about her. The way you showed up to Mom's birthday dinner last month when you've never come to a family thing before. The way you're looking at me right now, like you're afraid I'm going to tell you no." He ran his hand through his dark hair, a nervous habit I'd seen 1,000 times. "I'm sorry, man. I know it's weird. I know she's your sister, but I can't stop thinking about her. We've been texting for about 3 weeks now, and every conversation it feels different. It feels right. 3 weeks. They've been talking for 3 weeks, and I had no idea. Comment below if you think he should have told his best friend sooner. Was 3 weeks too long to keep this secret? Does she know how you feel?" I asked. "No. I wanted to talk to you first. Because you're my best friend, and she's your sister, and if this is going to be a problem." "It's not a problem," I interrupted, and I meant it. Mostly. The truth was more complicated than that. The truth was that I'd spent the last 5 years watching Emma date men who treated her like an option, not a priority. I'd watched her cry over guys who couldn't see what was right in front of them. And Marcus? Marcus was the kind of man I'd always hoped she'd find. Loyal. Kind. The type who remembered how you took your coffee and showed up when he said he would. But there was something else. Something I hadn't told anyone. Emma had been through something 6 months ago. Something she'd sworn me to secrecy about. A relationship that had ended so badly it left scars I could still see in the careful way she held herself around new people. And I didn't know if she was ready for someone like Marcus. Someone who would actually mean something. Someone who could hurt her in ways those other guys never could. Simply because with Marcus, it would be real. "Just be careful with her," I said finally. "She's tougher than she looks, but she's also been through more than you know." Marcus nodded slowly. "I would never hurt her. You know that, right?" I didn't know that. That was the problem. Like this video if you believe the right person comes at the right time, or comment if you think timing is everything in love. 2 weeks later, Emma called me on a Saturday morning, which was unusual. She was more of a text-first person, only calling when something was either very good or very bad. "He asked me out," she said, skipping any greeting. "Marcus." "Yes, Marcus. You're Marcus." "He asked me to dinner next Friday, and I said yes. But now I'm spiraling, because what if this ruins everything? What if it doesn't work out, and then things are weird with you? And I can't come to family dinners anymore, because your best friend will be there, and—" "Emma, breathe." I heard her take a shaky breath on the other end. "Are you okay with this? Be honest. Was I okay with it?" I thought about all the times Marcus had been there for me. The time he drove 4 hours to pick me up when my car broke down. The time he talked me through my breakup with Jessica, letting me crash on his couch for 2 weeks without complaint. The time he loaned me $3,000 for my mom's medical bills and refused to let me pay him back. And I thought about Emma. About the little girl who used to follow me around, who grew into a woman I was proud to call my sister, who deserved someone who would choose her every single day. "I'm okay with it," I said. "More than okay. I think you should give him a real chance." "Really? Really? But Emma, I need you to promise me something." What? If this doesn't work out, and I'm not saying it won't, but if it doesn't, you two work it out like adults. Because I can't lose either of you. There was a pause. You won't lose us. I promise. But promises, I was learning, were easier to make than keep. If you're invested in this story, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what happens next. Trust me, you'll want to see where this goes. 1 month later. The dinner was supposed to be casual. Just the four of us. Me, my girlfriend Rachel, Marcus, and Emma. At that Italian place downtown that makes everything fresh. But watching Marcus and Emma together was like watching two puzzle pieces discover they were made for each other. He pulled out her chair. She laughed at his jokes, really laughed, not the polite laugh she gave to guys she was just being nice to. When she told a story about a difficult client, he listened with his whole attention, asking questions that showed he actually cared about the answer. And the way they looked at each other. God, the way they looked at each other. Rachel squeezed my hand under the table. They're adorable, she whispered. They were adorable. They were also falling in love so fast, it was almost scary. So, Marcus said, turning to me with a grin. Remember when you said I'd know when I found the right person? That it would feel like everything suddenly made sense. I remember. You were right. Emma blushed, actually blushed, and I realized I hadn't seen her do that in years. Comment adorable if you think they're perfect together, or too fast if you think they're moving too quickly. After dinner, as we walked to our cars, Emma pulled me aside while Marcus and Rachel chatted a few feet away. Thank you, she said quietly. For what? For being okay with this. For introducing us, kind of. For having such a good best friend that I couldn't help but fall for him. My chest tightened. Are you happy? I'm terrified, she admitted. But yes, I'm happy. He's different. You know, I didn't know. That was exactly what scared me. 3 months later, the first fight happened around the holidays. Marcus called me at midnight, which was never a good sign. I messed up, he said, his voice rough. What happened? I asked Emma about moving in together. Not now, but eventually. And she completely shut down. Like, I've never seen her that closed off. She said she needed space, and then she left, and she's not answering my calls. I closed my eyes. I knew exactly what had happened, and I knew why. Hit that like button if you saw this coming. And make sure you're subscribed because this is where everything gets real. Marcus, there's something you need to know about Emma. Something I probably should have told you before, but it wasn't my story to tell. I told him about Emma's ex. About the engagement that had ended 6 months before Marcus and Emma met. About how her fiancé had proposed, moved her into his apartment, and then slowly, methodically, isolated her from her friends, her hobbies, everything that made her who she was. How it took her 4 months to realize what was happening and find the strength to leave. She's not scared of commitment, I explained. She's scared of losing herself again. Moving in together, it probably triggered every bad memory she has. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. Why didn't she tell me? Because she probably thought she was over it. Because she didn't want her past to ruin her future. Because sometimes we think we're healed until something proves we're not. What do? You give her space. You let her come to you. And when she does, you listen. You don't fix it. You don't push. You just listen. Comment below. Should Emma have told Marcus about her past sooner? Let me know what you think. 2 days later, Emma showed up at my apartment at 7 in the morning with coffee and red-rimmed eyes. I'm self-sabotaging, aren't it? She said, collapsing on my couch. What makes you say that? Because Marcus is perfect. He's kind and patient, and he actually listens when I talk. And the second things got serious, the second he wanted to take the next step, I panicked and ran. Just like I swore I wouldn't do. I sat down next to her. Did you panic because you don't want to be with him? Or because you're scared? She was quiet for a moment. I'm terrified. What if I move in with him and I lose myself again? What if I wake up one day and realize I've become someone I don't recognize, just trying to make him happy? Marcus isn't Tyler, I said gently. I know that. Logically, I know that. But my heart doesn't seem to care about logic right now. So what are you going to do? She took a shaky breath. I'm going to talk to him. Really talk to him. About Tyler, about my fears, about all of it. And if he runs, then I guess I have my answer. And if he doesn't run? She smiled, just a little. Then I guess I learned to trust again. If you've ever had to face your fears for love, drop a like. And subscribe if you want to see how this conversation goes. That evening, Marcus texted me at 9 p.m. She told me everything. I'm not going anywhere. And then, A minute later, thank you for having my back. I stared at my phone, feeling the weight of something shift. The fear I'd been carrying, that I'd lose one of them, that this would blow up in everyone's faces, started to ease. Rachel came up behind me, reading over my shoulder. Looks like your two favorite people are going to be okay. Yeah, I said. I think they are. Comment, faith restored, if Marcus just became your favorite character. This man is showing us what real love looks like. 6 months later, Marcus called me on a Wednesday afternoon. I need your help with something. What's up? I'm going to ask Emma to marry me. My heart stopped. Seriously? Seriously. I know it's fast by some standards, but when you know, you know. And I know. She's it for me. She's everything. Does she know you're thinking about this? We've talked about the future, about what we both want. She's in therapy now, working through everything with Tyler, and she's doing so well. She's ready. I'm ready. I just need to know, do I have your blessing? The question caught me off guard. Marcus didn't need my permission. Emma was her own person, capable of making her own choices. But he was asking anyway, because he knew what it meant to me, what they both meant to me. You have more than my blessing, I said, my voice rough with emotion. You have my gratitude, for being the kind of man she deserves, for being patient, for being you. If this moment gave you chills, smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? The proposal is coming. I'm going to ask her next month. At the beach house where we had our first real conversation, remember? Your mom's birthday party. I remember. Will you be there? I want to do it right. I want the people she loves there. I'll be there. 1 month later. The beach house was exactly as I remembered it. Weathered wood, ocean views, the sound of waves that never quite stopped. Marcus had planned everything perfectly. A sunset dinner on the deck, fairy lights strung up, Emma's favorite flowers everywhere. I watched from inside the house with Rachel, Mom, and Dad as Marcus got down on one knee. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but I could see Emma's face. The shock, the tears, the way her hands flew to her mouth. And then she was nodding, saying yes, pulling him up to kiss him while the sun set behind them in streaks of orange and gold. Mom was crying. Dad had his arm around her, smiling in that quiet way he did when he was too moved to speak. Rachel squeezed my hand. Your best friend is marrying your sister. Yeah, I said, my own eyes stinging. Yeah, he is. Comment, she said yes, if you're crying right now. Because I definitely am. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. 1 year later, I stood at the altar as Marcus's best man, watching Emma walk down the aisle on Dad's arm. She looked radiant, happy, whole. Marcus was crying before she even reached him, not bothering to hide it. When it came time for the vows, Emma went first. Marcus, she said, her voice clear and strong. 1.5 years ago, I was broken. I didn't think I could trust anyone with my heart again. And then you came along, patient and kind, and you didn't try to fix me. You just loved me. You let me heal at my own pace. You showed me that love doesn't have to hurt, that the right person will make you more yourself, not less. You're my best friend, my partner, my home. And I can't wait to spend the rest of my life proving to you that you made the right choice. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. If these vows hit you right in the heart, hit that like button. Subscribe for more beautiful love stories that remind us what real love looks like. Marcus took a shaky breath before starting his own vows. Emma, the day I met you, I knew my life was about to change. What I didn't know was how much. You've taught me about strength, about resilience, about what it means to really show up for someone. You've made me want to be better, do better, love better. And I promise you, for the rest of our lives, I will choose you. Every single day, I will choose you. In the good times and the hard times, in the moments that take our breath away and the moments that test us, I will always choose you. When they kissed, the whole room erupted in applause. The reception, during the father-daughter dance, Dad pulled me aside. You did good, he said simply. I didn't do anything. You gave them your blessing. You supported them even when it was complicated. You put their happiness above your own comfort. That's not nothing, son. I watched Emma and Marcus on the dance floor, lost in their own world, and realized Dad was right. Sometimes love isn't about grand gestures. Sometimes it's about the quiet choice to step back and let the people you care about find their happiness, even when it's scary, even when it changes everything. Comment below if you think true love is about supporting the people you care about, even when it's hard. And make sure you're subscribed. We're almost to the end, and you won't want to miss it. Later that night, Marcus found me at the bar, bow tie undone, shirt sleeves rolled up, looking happier than I'd ever seen him. "Thank you," he said. "For what?" "For trusting me with her. For being okay with this. For being my best man. For everything." I pulled him into a hug. "Take care of her. Always," he promised. Always. 2 years later, I'm holding my nephew. Yes, nephew. When Emma finds me in the hospital waiting room. "He's perfect," I say, looking down at the tiny, sleeping face. "He is," Emma agrees, sitting next to me with the careful movements of someone who gave birth 8 hours ago. "We're naming him after you. Middle name," she adds quickly when she sees my expression. "Emma, you're the reason we found each other. You're the reason any of this happened." Marcus and I talked about it. We want our son to have a piece of the person who brought his parents together. I look at Marcus, who's standing in the doorway with that same soft expression he's worn every time he looks at Emma for the past 3 years. "Thank you," he mouths. And I realize that 3 years ago, when Marcus sat across from me in that coffee shop and told me he was falling for my sister, I was terrified of losing one of them. Instead, I gained a family. Sometimes the best love stories aren't about the couple. They're about everyone who loved them enough to let them find each other. This was one of those stories. And it was just beginning. If this story touched your heart, please leave a like and subscribe for more heartwarming love stories. Comment below and tell me, what was your favorite moment? Was it the proposal, the vows, or the ending with the baby? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next story. Thank you for being here.